Welcome to Bold Conscious Connections. My name is Raju Panjwani and I'm a certified leadership coach.
And I'm Triccia Ramos, a certified high performance coach. Together, we help business leaders redefine success on their terms to create more space and energy so that they live impactful lives.
Everyone wants to be seen, heard, and understood. So, at a deeper level, we know that the collective consciousness is important to raise in this world, and leaders who are influencers can make that difference. We, in our coaching programs, teach people how to focus on the interconnectedness, heart-centeredness, and growth from within. And this is what this podcast will be about.
So stay tuned and subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts.
Talk to you very soon.
Hi, we are so excited about today's episode on inspiration and action.
Holy cow, why do we want inspiration and action? We often, Tricia and I talk about, the what and the why of life, and why is it that why is so important, so that you can then dive into the what, which is really the legacy you want to leave. And why do we want to leave a legacy?
Well, just the fact that we chose to come, that we chose to be here.
In this life.
The idea is that hopefully part of the growth and the wisdom over time is that you're learning something about yourself and figuring out how to add to the planet. Why is this place going to be better off as a result of my presence having been here? And to me, that's what I think of.
That's great. That's beautiful because, every day you wake up, if you recognize that you're mortal, unlike thinking that you have, however many decades to live, you've been through your near-death experience, and I have been through mine, a few of those. So for me, it's always been about, letting mortality motivate me and get excited about life every single day. So legacy becomes important. So as you said, you want to make a difference. You felt like at the end of your life you made a difference, and to everyone that came in contact with you. And that's such a lovely thought. And it starts, it starts from your heart, really, right? Doesn't it?
Yes. And, I think for the sake of adding even more depth to this conversation, I also think we should expand what we mean when we talk about death. Because every day there's something dying within us. And, last year was really, 2020 really was a year where we all, no matter who you are, where you live, how old you are, we all really got to experience the death of of life as we knew it. And, so many people actually did experience the physical loss of a loved one. And, without taking away from that, I think the whole planet had to go through some grieving process for the old life we were all used to living. And whether it's leaving a job or, perhaps being let go from a job, whether it's leaving a city or, the separation of a partnership or a marriage, these are all examples of some level of death. And even kids going off to college, or in some way maybe even small kids going off to school, there's a level of letting go of what once was for this a rebirth, something new to occur.
And if you take it really down to the moment, as some sages have described, that even your inhale and your exhale, every inhale is life and every exhale is death. And when you add up those moments, you're always allowing something new to come in and therefore letting go of something else. So yeah, those are great examples of how we are all dying, or giving up or destroying something every single day. And then what do you allow, what else to come into your heart that then opens up space for something new? And if you go back to the conversation about legacy in this short life that we all have, you really want to make the difference. And what is it what is it that drives you to do that? I mean, that has to come from a really inspired place. And all inspiration, I don't know if anyone else, but comes not from logic, but from down here in our hearts.
Well, inspiration comes from the word inspire, which is actually breath, like to take in, to breathe in. And
oh, so it's even more relevant.
It's more relevant, absolutely. Nothing is accidental here. And it really is about the idea that we can't continue to take in. We can't really allow ourselves to grow or expand unless in the process we are also practicing releasing and letting go of what doesn't serve us or what no longer contributes to our progress. So whenever we, exhale or release, or, our bodies, our cells changing every day, and the idea of those parts of us dying is really to be able to create room for the regeneration of what our body needs moving forward.
Exactly.
So what does that mean in your day-to-day life?
Well, so we'll help you with perhaps, as we always do with some tools and some frameworks. So we're going to give you 3 points of a reference so you can, as you're listening to this, perhaps if you're sitting down, take some notes. If not, make sure you make some mental notes. The first one's that all of this that we create is about co-creating, from within, because as we often say, the only way out of anything you're struggling with in life is really to go within.
Yeah, I think we've heard it discussed many different ways. When you lean into something, by leaning in, you can learn something, right? Perhaps see an avenue that allows you to navigate it in a way that perhaps you wouldn't have seen if you kept resisting something, if you kept looking at it from just that one perspective. So the idea that we turn inward really speaks to our acknowledgement that we have the ability to expand our perspectives. And, that's not easily done because we live where we live. We know the people we know. We watch what we watch, especially now with social media. The algorithms just keep showing you what you know.
Right.
And so expanding your perspective and expanding your perception would require you engaging yourself, engaging with others so that you can learn ideas, perhaps think new thoughts, perhaps speak in a way that you've never spoken about yourself, of yourself, about others and of others. And so this idea of going in, where you close your eyes, I'm describing to you how I do it, and I focus on my breath, and I do my best to eliminate the noise, the distraction, and I just stay in that space of stillness, that space of the unknown, and let it hang there. You just never know what comes, right?
Well, the possibilities are all in that silence, right? So when you really look to tap into that silence is where all the magic happens. Now, I know I have a lot of friends and a lot of family, and we talk about this a lot, but so many people are uncomfortable just closing their eyes other than while sleeping. But when you're awake, can you just close your eyes for a minute? It's so hard for people to close eyes for a minute. But if you just make it a practice, even to just try it for a little bit, you will feel the sound of your silence. You will feel as if your inner core is awake and is guiding you somewhere, because nothing resides in just the 5 senses other than you're experiencing your physical body. But the magic is all here, and I don't know why I kind of know, because we're all programmed to behave a certain way. And as you start discovering who you are, which can only be through the means of some other, whether it's silence or walking in nature or whatever practices people want to do, but that allows you to eliminate, as you said, noise, right, of all kinds.
I love that in schools today they teach young children how to meditate.
Oh, that's lovely.
Well, at least where my
Well,
niece and my
well,
nephew go to
here,
school.
here they started a program just a couple of years ago in our district. So, well, I'm glad that this is happening, right? It's a
Yeah.
beautiful beginning.
They're doing yoga, they're doing meditation, and there's so many apps available now, like Headspace, for example, where you can just tap into, you have this much time, then do that one. And I just recently learned that they do meditation for children as well. And in fact, I have witnessed my niece and my nephew, who are 5 and 7, do them. And it's a habit every night after they read their books. Then after that it's meditation time, and then it's sleep time.
That's wonderful.
It's so wonderful to give children the ability to, at such a young age, learn the importance of reflection at the end of the day. Importance of breath and release.
Right, that's another one. Just even if your eyes are open and you can't seem to concentrate, just the breath, the release breaths are important with your, inhaling through the nose and out through your mouth, and take as many as you allow you to de-stress, because it's a huge releaser of stress. But you still need to tap into your inner core to be able to create or co-create with whatever your expression that's unique to you is. Because ultimately, as we just talked about, legacy, what legacy do you want to leave?
Mm-hmm. And that kind of leads us to the second point. We started talking about it a little bit, is like, meditation can feel uncomfortable. And we say do it so that you can be comfortable with the uncomfortable. There's really something to be said about sitting in that space of uncertainty, of unknown, and allowing yourself to actually feel all the emotions, right? Like, what happens when you're alone? What happens when you close your eyes and you have no one to talk to, no one to distract you? It's just you with yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you can actually do this repeatedly, for me, what it taught me was that I have what it takes to overcome challenging situations. And, I love hiking for that reason. For me, hiking is a form of meditation. Mm-hmm. And I especially love hikes where I really don't know the trail. Mm. And I have to be so present to pay attention that I just wandering can't even, happen, because I'm really in the present moment, just navigating. I kind of like a little bit of sense of ooh, I better be present, because if I right. step the wrong way, it might not be good. So for me, it forces me to fully engage every part of me, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, and be in that space. And often when I have to make difficult decisions, or if I have to do something I've never done before, I often will reflect back on past hikes I've done, where I persevered and then got up to that view, that summit, and just said wow, thank God I kept on. Thank God I didn't turn around and didn't let my fears or my uncomfortability, is that a word? Didn't let discomfort didn't let any of that stop me. So for me, I love it. I love
so that. The second point is that we're to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, there's nothing that the good that comes out of in life, in terms of growth anyway, without having some discomfort. Because if it's uncomfortable and you're going to grow from it, well, that is the magic of life, and that's the growth.
That's why they call it growing pains.
So it's called growing pains, exactly right. So that's too, and that creates all sorts of unlimited possibilities for you to tap into who you are, and whether it's hike, nature walks, your silence, whatever works for you. I wish I come from a country where apparently yoga was born anyway. And I wish that, our parents and our families and our larger, people that we come in contact with, had this, because I think they grew up maybe in generations ago with that, being able to meditate, pray, whatever it took to silence your mind. Unfortunately, I did not grow up that way, and I had to tap into all of those things at a later stage in life.
Well, and
there's
perfect
never too late.
timing, never too late, right?
Too
and
late.
It's really, for me, being comfortable with the uncomfortable is about embracing the uncertainty. It's about really going towards the unknown, because we're coaches. So we love to, really work with our clients to hold a space for them to be able to dream. Like what would their, best life look like?
Yeah.
And for someone to be able to really come into that, and we are fortunate enough, we've been doing this long enough with enough people that we've actually witnessed client transformations where they actually took a dream or a vision and now it's real. It's their life today. So that requires being bold enough to tap into the unknown and not letting the undefined spaces stop you, because that is how you tap into potential. Exactly. You tap into potential because it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But yet, because you're not going to shrink from the fact that you don't have all the pieces of information, you're going to move towards that direction anyway, because you know that if you tap into your heart and you connect to that part of you, that inner part of you, the one who knows, if you connect to that inner part of you, then if it feels right, that's really the way to go. And that's really speaks to faith.
Absolutely. It's all about believing in something you can't see or touch or see. So we call it the 3 U's in this case: uncertainty, the unknown, and the undefined. So embrace those 3 and be comfortable with the uncomfortable, because that's where everything is. And thirdly, number 3 today. So now that you've heard us for a bit, what are you going to change now? What is it about you, unique you, that you like to see expressed in the world, that only you can bring to the world?
What are you ready for?
What are you ready for?
Hopefully as you're listening to this, there is something within you that perhaps thought to yourself, man, if only I was a little bit more comfortable with the uncomfortable, I'd finally get out of my own way and I'd allow myself to do this.
What would that be for you?
Yeah, what would it be? If I was just a little bit more courageous, I would give myself permission to do that.
Yeah.
Don't think about it too long. Write it down, right?
Yeah.
I think...
And if you're on a walk or a run or a jog and listening to this podcast, man, stop and just breathe for a moment and say, wow, if I had no limitations in my head, or, if I had all the resources in the world, what would I be doing to leave an impact and a legacy in this world?
Listen, you're hearing this today for a reason. We really believe that there's no such thing as chance. And you're hearing this today for a reason. So if anything we said to you resonated, play it back, play it back again. And perhaps forward this episode to someone whose life might just shift even just a little bit as a result of what we had to say. We really enjoy these conversations, and inspiration and action go together, because unless you're inspired, you should not take any action.
And you should not just take action without being inspired, as the same, and also through your head, because if you're focusing on the do that we talked about earlier, man, it's very hard, because then time goes, and at the end of the day, you've done a lot of things, but you don't feel satisfied down here in the heart. So truly, it's about finding your core and your heart, and being able to really think from there, if there is such a thing.
Awesome.
Take good care, guys. Be safe, healthy, and prosperous.
Take care. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if so, make sure to subscribe, download, and share it with your sphere of influence.
We bring a variety of topics to you, and it's like a masterclass for those topics, and it's all free.
So take a screenshot, share it on your social media, and add the hashtag #BoldConsciousConnections so that we can find you, see you, maybe say hello.
And if you want to deep dive into some of the topics that we bring to you, find us at www.livemasterminds.com and get to know us.